So.
Oh, jeez. You guys watch Hard Knocks last night?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
I enjoyed it.
I think it's better. It's better than the preseason one. Like when you actually get to see the guys who are going to be playing on Sunday and stuff like that. Like it's better.
So for me, and I assume for a lot of guys that used to play in the NFL, it did feel as if I was back because I was actually in those stadium, in that locker room, in that building. It felt as if I was back on the team almost. Couple moments where I think they did potentially miss a player like me in the in the room when they were reading off game balls for Jonathan Taylor. And it was deathly quiet.
Yeah, very awkward.
That's an awkward situation. You're kind of leaving Jonathan Taylor out on an island of uncomfort.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there has to be at least one person go, ooh!
Yeah.
Has to be
Hype
one.
Him up a little.
Has to just to break up the monotony of the discomfort.
He kept looking at the guy, too, like, Jesus fucking Christ, can you just, cut it off?
And the people next to him, and that's the game ball thing is normally a big ceremony. Obviously, like, representing and recognizing the game that was and everything like that. I think that was one moment where I was like, oh, I wonder if they have rules against just like random, ooh!
Yeah, cheering.
Just a little bit of a heads up, but might be a different generation.
True.
It might be a completely different generation there.
But,
what?
I mean, could still fucking hype your boy up.
Yeah, I think I don't know what happened. What was that all about? I didn't know what that was all about. I was almost uncomfortable watching it. I was like, what is the deal? But they have a good culture over there. Everybody knows they have a good culture. Right. That's their thing. Who wants to mess it up? But how about Bubba? You know, Ventrone, Pittsburgh dude, played for the Patriots for a long time. He fucking goes, hey, X, you're going to be able to get in here. Everybody is available for a block. And now I watched that, and then I knew that they ended up blocking one. And I think they could have tied that in a little bit together, tighter, because there was like 45 minutes in between Bubba calling it, basically, and then it happening. But every week there is some sort of block that everybody thinks could be a block.
Yeah.
You just got to hope that it happens on a regular basis. Carson Wentz, I think, looked good in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I enjoyed Carson. I think my wife knows me. Listen.
Yeah.
Playing football.
Him
and Frank Reich, too. Hearing that whole entire backstory when he was in North Dakota. Was
driving in his car with him back to the thing and them talking about Phillips 213.
That's right.
Phillips 123.
Check this out, Coach.
It's like destiny, those two.
Legitimately.
It is. So I guess whenever, everybody in Philly was saying, there's only one man that can fix Carson Wentz. It's that John Frank Reich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what they were saying in Philly. It's that John. Get those two back together. And I was a little bit hesitant. I was like, whoa. We don't necessarily need this guy that we have seen play football for your team for the last 2 years, okay? We have eyes, too, over here in Indianapolis. I understand we're not the original capital of the United States, and I understand we might have much different personalities on how we go about day to day, and the Johns and the Yins and the Y'alls. Okay, there's a lot of differences, but we've seen this broken quarterback too, a guy who seems like he hates everything about football. There's no reason for you to push him, especially his massive contract on us, just because you guys want to get rid of him or whatever. They were right though, I think. After watching Hard Knocks, Frank Reich was probably the only guy that Carson probably super connected with. Especially because that car drive.
Yep.
And it's great to see it's all coming together because during the Hard Knocks, they were like week 1 loss, week 2 this. And they're like, we got to get it back together. Don't blink. Don't blink is basically what everybody said. In that culture, in that locker room, they didn't. And they got a lot more to prove. I think they're very excited about it. But anytime you get an owner coming in after a big-time game in a probably $100,000 to $200,000 outfit, if you count the watches and everything in there, and he starts banging on a garbage can. Wait, we will rock you. How could you blink? Jim Irsay living his best fucking life, by the way.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I assume, and I'm not going to speak for Jim Irsay because I cannot act as if I am anywhere near the person that Jim Irsay is or the life that Jim Irsay has lived or anything like that. From what I've been told from people behind closed doors that have been in Indianapolis for a long time, said that this is their favorite Jim Irsay that they've ever encountered. They think that his grandkids that were born potentially gave him a new spark and a new energy to potentially enjoy life and take advantage and kind of celebrate everything that's going on. So I'm super pumped for him. And Irsay being an electric factory is great for the NFL.
Yeah. I really hope he, ends up promising the 2 Super Bowls that he did throughout this period on the Hard Knocks.
They need a Jim Irsay episode.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been doing these Jim Irsay collections in Nashville. I think he did one in front of the Lincoln Memorial over there. If Hard Knocks isn't giving us a full Jim Irsay docu-series maybe after this thing, I think they're not doing it necessarily accurate. You did not watch any of Hard Knocks last night. You didn't get a chance to see it. It does feel as if you're back in the building. And maybe it's because, I mean, they've done a lot of upgrades since I've been gone. I'm sure a lot of the OGs that I was on a team with there for the first couple of years are looking at some of the rooms and they're like, that's quite an upgrade over what we had going on not too long ago, but they have invested in the building. The facility looks beautiful. The show, though, it felt like I was back in the room. They were giving Jonathan Taylor a game ball. You know, the game ball celebration that happens at team meetings. Hey, game ball. It's a big deal, okay? It's you read off the stats. I assume it happens in Green Bay, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a big deal. Getting a game ball is a huge deal. It's a cool thing. They were reading off Jonathan Taylor's stats, and he was getting a game ball. There was not a peep by anybody in the room.
When they were reading off his stats?
Yeah, for like 15 seconds, they're reading off what this guy rushed for 7,000 yards.
You're saying they should be cheering like after each one?
No, I'm not saying there should be cheer, but unless I misremember these meetings and maybe I assumed that for everybody there was a
so just nothing. They have like is that like just how they started doing that, where no one speaks at all when they're doing it?
I have no idea. It was awkward. I'm telling you, it was the only part where I was like, okay, maybe this is a little bit different than whenever I was in there, because somebody would do so. Even if it was the other running backs in the room, they're going to gas up. Like there is,
and if you're reading multiple things, like he has multiple, it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it grows,
it gets awkward.
7 in a row, 8 in a row with nothing.
And some guys hate it, by the way. Like there's guys that on game ball days, they hate what is happening. They do not enjoy. Offensive linemen who had like 8 pancakes and they're reading it off. It is embarrassing for some people in front of their entire team, which is why you have to make it like in my eyes, you should make it like like just gas it up for what it is. Like this is a cool I don't know. But other shit in there I liked. Whenever they were going.
Was that where the We Will Rock You came from?
No, that's
electric.
Awesome. That's what I'm saying. Jim Irsay.
This was amazing. Yeah.
We need more Jim Irsay.
Real quick, I don't want to cut you off. I know you get to it. I watched it the first time and there was no sound. I'm like, okay, I had to do something. I'll come back to this. And then when I heard the sound and I realized that was the song he was singing, it made it 1,000 times better.
1,000. Yeah. While I was watching it, my wife had fallen asleep already. 10 o'clock late start.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very.
10 o'clock late start. I mean, let's maybe
figure it out.
Let's go ahead and figure that out.
9 o'clock,
I mean, geez,
Louise.
Louise.
Wednesday night.
My wife, though, is sleeping or whatever. She watched the beginning of it. She'll finish it. She's excited about it as well because it's Colts or whatever. But this happens. And I started out loud going, yes. And then I turned it up and then I hear, we will rock you. I just thought about how pumped fucking Jim Irsay, who probably would never have taken this opportunity to do what he wants to do in the past for whatever reason. Him just being like, you know what, the team that I am the sole owner, 100% owner of this team right here. We have turned this, we stunk early. We have turned this around. Let's go, boy. And him just being fucking that excited, that elated. I'm so happy for him. I think it's amazing. I think it's awesome. Also, hilarious. It is hysterical to think that the owner of the Colts is doing that. It was a perfect moment. He always came into the locker room before games and after games. Always. He had his own chair where he would come and he would walk through, the locker room right through the middle to get to his chair like 5-10 minutes before big break, before we go out on the field. And it was almost every time, his chair would be right where me and Vinatieri almost like are, when he walked in. And every time it was ooh, look at that suit. And thank you, Pat. And it would be some pinstripe, sweet suit. But then he would sit down and it literally looked like he was getting ready for the game. Like he takes those game days and games, and I've never been in the box with him, but I've heard it is like every play is like a ride or die for Jim. So I think
it's nerve-wracking. If you're the owner, imagine sitting up in that box, like I don't really have any control over this, but this is my team. Like, I would be hanging on every play too.
Yeah, and I love that he's just out. If Hard Knocks doesn't cover more Jim Irsay, though, what are we even doing Hard Knocks?
Come on.
I was hoping the players were going to get more into the We Will Rock You, and they were just going to do the whole song.
Yeah, maybe pick him up too. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, you need some people in that locker room that are like, they realize the moment is.
I would have been banging on the wall so hard, whatever I could find. I would have been juicing him up.
Bro, yeah! I'm like, man, so hard. Let's make this moment as we don't get this type of shit. You know,
Let's make it a tradition that after every win, this is what we do.
He needs to come in with a different song next time, by the way. Maybe one that he wrote himself.
Yeah, that always goes well. People
best.
love originals. They don't want to hear the hits.
Bro, he's fucking unbelievable. That was my takeaway from it was Jim Irsay needs a little bit more dedicated time on Hard Knocks.
Yes.
Also, it was cool to get back in the building. You do kind of feel it because they walk you, from the practice into the meetings in the facility. It felt like I was kind of retracing some steps from back in the day. It was cool. I enjoyed it a lot, and hopefully the rest of the season will be great.